Okay, hello, hello, hello. How is everyone? Good to be here once again. Sorry for the short delay, just sorting out a few little technical bits behind the scenes. Before I bring Martin on, a couple of little bits of updates from Onpassive if you haven't heard or seen them. First one is yesterday, quite late on here in the UK, onpassive.com website went down. Then there's a big difference just before I go into this now. There's a big difference between the site being offline and the domain name not working. Huge difference. So the site went off. Why? Because they were working on it. Guess what? It came back on very shortly afterwards. And the domain name was always there on the server. So there's a huge difference between whether it's gone offline completely or whether they were just working in the background. Now, obviously, because at the moment we are not on AWS services cloud-based, for us to do any upgrades or changes to the website, we actually has to physically take it offline, do the changes, then upload it all back up again, back on to that server. So good news, we're back up and running again. This means that they are in the background working on things at the moment. And that is good news for all of us, that we are seeing that happening right now. Also, Onpassive 360, that's going to be today at 2 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Eastern for that. And for all attendees, all you need to do is to go to any of the major channels. It will be shown at that time, or you can just go to thetop.live and it will pop up on one of the many YouTube channels that is showing. Our CEO, Ash Mufareh, has contacted Marty DeGarmo, and he is going to try his best to be there, guys. Okay, so obviously, well worth trying to get onto it if you can do. Myself, Marty, and Chris will obviously do our 360 thing, and obviously, we will hopefully see our CEO as well. So that's it as far as updates is concerned with what's been going on. And without further ado, I have got a great pleasure into introducing Martin Hopkins, Hoppy, to his friends. Met him and his father a couple of times, obviously at the live events we've had here in the UK, and also bumped into his dad as well when we were on our canal boat in Skipton a couple of years back, which was absolutely fantastic because he lives just at right on the canal at Skipton, which was lovely to meet him there as well. So here he is, Martin Hopkins. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
And as you can see, he's another UKian from that accent. He is up north, as they say, over here in the Pennines, an absolutely beautiful part of the country where he comes from in the UK, especially at this time of year. All the Peak Districts and around there is stunning this time of year. And especially with the weather we've been getting at the moment over the whole of the UK, it really is a blessing to be there at the moment. So, Martin, thank you very much for accepting and coming on to In the Chair. Like I said before, and this is for everybody out there, if you are from the UK specifically or from the rest of Europe and you want to come on, not only just to chat to me, but also to tell your Onpassive story as well, very easy. Reach out to me by Facebook Messenger or drop me a line on Redfern #7@gmail.com and we will make a time slot for you. Tomorrow we've got Tanya Onpassive. Friday is a fantastic Comfort Comfort. She's going to be on there, and Tuesday through to Friday next week we'll have a whole new bunch of people to get to know. So Martin, before we get into Onpassive here, just tell us a little bit about what you do, where you're from, and your little bit about your life, mate.
Yeah, certainly, and thank you for the invite. It's a pleasure to be on. Yeah, I'm originally from Northern Ireland. I was born in Home in Northern Ireland.
Oh, right. Well, okay, cool.
So I moved over to England when I was very young. So the accent has completely disappeared, and now I'm being in Yorkshire ever since. And that, you know, we don't call it God's own county for nothing. It's a great place to grow up. And
As you well know, I am married to a Yorkshire lass. Jane's from
exactly.
Askin, so I can't disagree with you there, mate. That's for sure.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So that's a little bit about. So I've been in Yorkshire ever since. Lived in Yorkshire since moving over. Now I know that me and you have something in common. We're both keen Liverpool supporters. I've got absolutely no idea how I came to be a Liverpool. I always put it down to the fact that I think Liverpool was the first port of call on the way over from Ireland, and something must have happened. And,
well, I can tell you how I became a Liverpool supporter, and it was in 1977 when I was at school,
right.
And all my mates obviously were either supporting in those days like Nottingham Forest, Bradford, Liverpool, Wolves, and Manchester United still as well.
Yeah.
And I just jumped on the Liverpool bandwagon, Kenny Dalglish, all that lot at the time, and I've stuck with it, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was one of my first kind of passion in life. In fact, it got to the point where it was more football was an obsession, but it was everything to do with Liverpool. My school days were spent just daydreaming about Liverpool, and I used to scribble in my notebooks Liverpool 4, Man United 0, and all that kind of jazz. So I never took on anything worthwhile in terms of education. But yeah, that was a passion in life, and just followed them. When I left school, got a job, I was able to go and follow them all over there. Well, I used to go to the home matches every fortnight, and sometimes I follow them away as well. But now, I regret to say it, but I can't stand football anymore. I think it's gone way down in my estimation of what it is. There's a lot of nonsense going on there that I'm not over keen on. So I don't bother. I look now and again just to see the scores, but I don't follow them like I used to do.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. A lot of people who were keen, I suppose, keen big team supporters have now almost gone full circle and gone back to grassroots football. You know, the pub team and local teams, because they want that atmosphere back again of what real football should all be about.
Exactly.
You know, and it's not about the money. It's about the enjoyment of the game. And I really do believe as well what you're saying there is that a lot of people have lost that buzz about the game, haven't they? Because it becomes a unrealistic thing, you know. Anyway, but there you go. So, what do you do as a job, Martin?
Yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic weather because I'm a landscape gardener, but landscaping is a little bit of a misnomer. I mean, we did a lot of landscaping, but it'd be more correct to say that we're general gardening and maintenance, because we've got lots of regular customers that we do the same thing over, you know, cut the grass, do the edges and stuff, and a bit of weeding here and there. So we did start off, did a lot of landscaping, big landscape jobs, but we kind of have moved on then, just like to concentrate on the smaller jobs. Now and again we'll do a big job, but yeah, this is the weather that it's a mixed blessing, because the heat can sap your energy, but you can get a lot of work done.
Yeah.
In the mean, again, being outdoors, that's what I like. I mean, the whole lifestyle. I like district a lot, camping at weekends, and so it's just that's my lifestyle, is being out in the open, and it's fantastic, great, healthy living.
Absolutely, it's certainly what attracted Jane and I to boat life. In all honesty, is because you spend so much of your time outside.
Yeah.
You know, and it is fantastic. You know, those early mornings, 5:30, 6 o'clock, when the mist is hanging on the ground. You know, it's really is amazing, especially this time of year. It's fantastic.
It is.
So, so tell us a little bit about your first coming across Onpassive, who it was, and what attracted you to this business.
Yeah, my whole kind of interest into online businesses came about by a friend inviting me to go to a meeting in a hotel type meeting, and I went and joined up thing. It sounded great. Don't really want to say it sounded too good to be true, because they also were saying, but I went along, listened to what was being said, and I did generally think that, oh, this is good. So I joined up, and now it was 2013 when I first encountered the online business world. And so I signed up to this business, thought great, but it turned out to be a Ponzi, a scam. If I said the name, I'm sure you'd know it. It seemed that every man and his dog had been in some way connected with this company, but when it went down and things went wrong,
it didn't have tech at the end of it, did it?
No, it didn't.
Oh, not that one then.
No, it was all about, yeah, straight almost within a couple of months of being in there. Then obviously, I think it happens for everybody. You then get to know other people in other businesses, and they kind of pitch you, and you end up having 2 or 3 of these businesses on the go, and hoping that one of them will eventually take off.
Yeah.
So that was my introduction to the online world, and so the disappointment with that first one actually being an out and out scam that only those at the top knew about it. And it was sort of just to, it was it kind of went by advertising, so that they did their money through advertising, and that's some of the kind of things that if I say the name, you'd know it straight away. But
yeah, okay, we'll leave that for a different time.
Yeah, not here to rubbish anything. Be a scam. The other one that I'd picked up at that time was it's not hard to say scam, because it was a genuine business, but it just didn't work out. And a bit like, I mean, I listened to a lot of Marty, a lot of his lives, and he says exactly, it's as if he's been reading my life, because we're all in the same boat. They promise you this, you get in, and then it's not actually what they promise you out in the oven. So it's never what they tell you at the beginning.
To this.
Yeah, exactly. So I had a couple of these businesses on the go, but one by one, they turned out that, I was putting my heart into them and making sure, give them a good go, but sadly they didn't work out. And so I was just kind of, I must have had, at one time I would have been in about 5 different ones, and slowly I was just ditching them one at a time. This is not going to work. And then there's a guy, I'll mention his name, I don't know if he's on here, Andy Bottrell is his name.
Yeah, I know Andy. Yeah, he's from Doncaster.
He is, that's right. So obviously we had a little bit of connection with the Yorkshire connection, but he kind of met, and he knew me from another business that we were both in as well. And he mentioned about Onpassive, and he says, "Oh, I'll send you a link about a business that you might be interested in." I said, "Yeah, send over the link and I'll take a look." Now, to be honest, I wasn't interested in another business. I was getting to the point where I was thinking none of these online businesses work unless you're a superstar and you're well known, you've got loads of connections. I can't see how it can work. So anyway, I said, yeah, I'll have a look. And then he phoned me up a few days later and he says, "Oh, Martin, have you had a chance to look at that?" And I said, "Oh, no, I haven't, Andy." I said, "But I will do." And I thought, and I wasn't wanting to look at it, but I thought, I'm a man of my word. I'll listen to, I'll look at what he sent over, and then I'll get back to him and say, "Yeah, I've had a look and I'm not interested." So anyway, and it was, and it was just an audio recording of Ash Mufareh. Yeah. I think it was 3 recordings, maybe even 2 recordings. So it wasn't even a video. So it wasn't even something exciting. I thought, audio. Now, and I've listened to lots of people have said the story of how they come to join Onpassive, and it's exactly the same. There was something about what Ash was saying, something about his voice, something about, you can either build up a character in your mind. It was just something that's, and so I thought, you know what, there's something in this. So I listened to it again, and there's something about this that I just don't want to let it go. So I got back to Andy and I says, "Andy," I says, "you might be onto something here, mate." I says, "I mean," so he said, "Well," and I think he said at the time, I think he said it was something like 9 to join.
97, yeah.
97, that's right, yeah. And I thought, $97, that's, I mean, that's nothing. Some of the business I've been in, we're talking thousands. So anyway, I said, well, that's great. So, and at that time to join, I had to go through. I don't know if you had the same experience, because this was in.
Yeah, we did on the Excel spreadsheet.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. And then and I think I even asked Ash on his mobile phone. Yeah, and then he sent something over. So anyway,
so you must have been August, September time then.
It was October.
October 18.
Early October, yeah, 18. Yeah. So yeah, and so that's kind of my journey. And I have to be honest, I'm not just saying this because we're live and all that, but I've never doubted Onpassive in all those, what is it, 6 years nearly now.
Yeah.
There's just something about Onpassive, the people, yourself, Marty, Chris, and all the other people. There's just something about them. And then obviously the cherry on the cake is Ash Mufareh himself. He's one of a kind. He's a unique kind of person. And so I've never doubted what he could do. But the one thing that he did say that I picked up on very early on, this is a few years back, it says that he didn't realise the corruption was so bad in the business world. Really, the reason I like what he said about that is I thought this guy's clued up, he knows. So there's so many people that don't want Onpassive to succeed because of greed, and there's a lot of shenanigans going out there in the big bad world where, you know, the elites, people want the things for themselves, so they don't want people to succeed because then for them. So, well, that's going down another track. So that's, I joined up with Andy, and as I say, I've never done nearly all the recordings. There was one, you may remember, Ash did a recording, and that time it was used to be Zoom, and it used to be about 9-10 o'clock at night UK. And there was two ladies that used to, Cindy Hopkins, and it might have been Susie McRae, that came on at the beginning and used to just shooting up, and then they'd bring Ash on, and then Ash would share an hour. And Ash built one of them. He had like a link, and Ash had put in the heading, and I was a bit, it said, "I quit." I don't know if you remember that one.
Oh yeah, I remember that. God, it blew the internet up.
No, not another one. And so I listened that night.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So that was, and then again, Ash came on, and that first started coming out with a do or die kind of phraseology.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, yeah, this guy is unique, definitely. And so, as
absolutely.
I said, sorry.
No, keep going.
Yeah, so I've never looked back since, and if anything, my passion is stronger now. Obviously, I'm like the rest of us to get it going. I mean, I've got a list of plans that I know that I'm going to do when Onpassive does, you know, eventually start launching properly, and we start making money in that. And the great thing I like about it, I know there's a lot of people in Onpassive that are a bit like myself. I'm a committed Christian, and I've got a lot of things that I want to do in the ministry to bless others. And I know that once Onpassive does get going, that will be blessing a lot of more people as well. And which is one of the things that Ash has always said, you know, it's all right, Ash, doing things and having a million millionaires. If he can multiply himself, that's going to be far better. And so that's, again, his philosophy is right up there, you know, among the best of them. And I love it. I love him for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're hitting the nail on the head by saying that I think the draw for Onpassive in so many ways, obviously, is the man himself and his vision and what he's trying to do. It certainly captured my imaginations in September of 18, the same audios as you listen to and all the rest of it. But since then, and I think moving forward, I think even more so, I think the solidarity and commitment by so many of us is because at the end of the day, Martin, we're just normal, average, everyday guys doing our thing. We're not high flyers, we're not prima donnas, or we're just normal people. And other people pick up on that. I mean, you've met me and I've met you, met your dad, you know, and you know, you'll testify, I'm just a normal bloke. But I've got a passion for this business. Now, you know, if that is a crime, then I'm guilty. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think there's anything wrong with having passion about what you believe in. You say you're a Christian, you know, fair play to you, mate. Do you know what I mean? And to everybody else who is a Christian out there, because that is your belief. My belief is Onpassive, and I am with it 100%. And I think this is what keeps us together as a unit, isn't it? Is because, you know, we're not just individuals here. We are a family, and that family comes from just being normal, everyday people. We haven't got people driving around in flash cars, in flash houses, you know, preaching all this rubbish. You know, we are here because we understand and know what Onpassive is not only going to do for ourselves, but what we can do with Onpassive. And that is worth more than any money that you can possibly get. So you were talking, Martin, about some of the things you want to do when Onpassive gets going. Do you want to share a little bit about what those might be?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think number one, I'd like Onpassive to replace my landscaping business income, so then I can stop the income, because I'm very heavily involved with the church things, with ministry stuff, and so I want to devote more resources into doing that. We call it serving the Lord, doing his bidding, and helping others and sharing the gospel. We call it the gospel. Others that have no hope in life, and from a Christian point of view, we know that there is hope in the Lord Jesus Christ and the message Bible. And so I want to help others are struggling in life. They just do not know where to turn, and so that'll be one of the things. And obviously, from the finances that Onpassive, that'll be able to finance that, because it does cost money, so you need money to so that's the real passion of what I want to be doing, you know, and full time with that.
That is absolutely fantastic, and I don't think anybody here would refute your passion for wanting to do that. You know, I mean, that really is a very admirable thing to want to do. You know, I mean, you know, there is obviously a lot of Christians about, and I'm sure that you will certainly do very well helping people with that. Now, you know, we've talked about you coming over from Ireland to the UK, Yorkshire, and being introduced by Andy, all the rest of it, and the journey so far with Onpassive. What within the Onpassive journey would you say are some of the high points that you have come across so far in your journey with Onpassive?
I think the many of the people that I've met through it, I mean, a lot of them I've met some at the live, obviously most of them we've met online through the stream, but we kind of build up a kind of a relationship. Even on screen you can build a bit of a relationship, and it kind of gives me hope, if you like, in that there are other people that have the same kind of beliefs and philosophy of me, that do want to genuinely help other people and will go out of their way to do that. And it's not just, you know, saying, oh, you know, I'm really interested in you because I want you to be on my team. There's none of that in Onpassive.
No.
It's just ready in it to win it. So and that's what comes. These people are there to help everybody else. And that's what I really love about Onpassive.
Fantastic. Do you know something? It really is inspiring to listen to you talk at the moment. You know, you are a typical Onpassive founder in so many ways that people don't know you, people probably haven't seen you, but yet you've still got the passion of what Onpassive is all about. You know, people know the Redferns and Martys, the Chris's and all the rest of it, but you are really the real people of Onpassive, and I absolutely love hearing your story, my friend. It's been absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to leave it to you to say a few more words, and then we will close this interview out.
Yeah.
So
well,
over to you, Martin.
Yeah, well, if I could kind of encourage everybody else, I mean, most of the people listening, I'm sure, will be already in Onpassive. Way of encouragement, know that things are going to eventually things will come through. I mean, again, it's the character of Ash Mufareh. I mean, there's no Ash will be coming on all these webinars and showing his face week after week when he doesn't even, and yet he does, and that gives every time. And you said it, Red, and that we get everybody that gets that same buzz when he comes on. We just he's there. He's not gone anywhere. Nothing's happening. He's there, just to kind of almost like a daddy to all his family, saying, "Don't worry, I'm here. It's going to come." And so I would encourage everybody not to lose heart, just to keep going, and eventually it'll come good in the end. And if in life is worth something, it costs. Sometimes it takes a lot of patience and perseverance. And we know from Onpassive does something, it comes back bigger and better and stronger. And that's the go on.
I don't think I'm far off saying the wrong thing here, but with an Onpassive, keep the faith.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is it. It's keep the faith, because it will come good. There's no way anyone can convince me otherwise. I mean, I've had a few people say things that, you know, oh, Mark, you've been going on about this, and kind of a little bit of a dig. Not in a dig. And I thought, well, you just wait and see. Wait and see.
Well, do you know something? That you've actually said something that I firmly believe in there, and that is that when we're connected within Onpassive, and you know, we have these sort of things and interviews, and we see our CEO, like you rightly said, he gives us that buzz and euphoria and keeps us updated with, as when he can, with what he can, by the way. It certainly gives us a lot of encouragement to keep going, for sure. But also, more importantly, is people don't see what we see. They haven't got that vision of where and what this company is going to do, because they actually don't understand it, want to know about it, or, you know, all of that goes into Onpassive. But I can tell you one thing, is that all of those that are here, that have been on the journey, that see this through to the end, you guys are going to be the heroes. Why? Because whether they believe it or not, Onpassive is going to be a name that everybody knows. And guess what happens when that happens? They're going to remember Martin Hopkinson. He was in that, wasn't he? And they go asking you about it again. Why did you stay the course, Martin? Why did you spend all those years believing in Onpassive? And then you can tell your story of Ash Mufareh, the guy who wanted to change the business world on the internet, to get rid of the corruption, to do something good for humanity. That is going to pay absolute dividends for you and every single one of these people that is listening and watching this podcast right now, because the ones that are there at the end, when we get going again, you are going to certainly reap the rewards and benefits of your belief in this company. So, Martin, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Great to see you again, by the way, my friend. And you never know, I might be popping in Skipton on my other journey along the Leeds and Liverpool, if we can ever get the Wigan flight, by the way, because it's always closed at the moment. But apart from that, it's a bit of a nightmare. But cheers, my friend. You've spoke brilliantly. I love your passion for Onpassive. Again, you're only reiterating really what so many of us already know and believe, but it's fantastic to hear it from somebody like yourself. Okay, guys, that's it from us today. Remember, Onpassive 360 is coming up at 2 p.m. Eastern, which is 7 p.m. for us guys in the UK. CEO Ash Mufareh has said he wants to attend. Whether it's going to be exactly at that time or not, we don't know. But myself, Marty, and Chris will be there to do our normal thing with 360. So that's it from me and Martin. See you all tomorrow when we'll have the very famous